Hello, Preetham. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Poonam. Good morning. I'm
Good
doing well,
morning.
Poonam. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Thank you. Thank you for making time for this conversation. I really appreciate it because you have a busy schedule. So thanks for fitting this conversation into your schedule.
No worries, Poonam. It's my absolute pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Sure. I'm also looking forward to learning about your Anderson experience. And before we start that, can you tell our viewers about a little about yourself, your academic and professional background?
Sure, Poonam. So I have completed my bachelor's in engineering in Hyderabad, in India, and came to the US to pursue my master's in electrical engineering from California State University, Sacramento. My professional background has been more in the area of business intelligence. So I graduated at a time in 2010 where where there was a lot of economic downturn, and there was not many jobs in hardware. I actually wanted to pursue a career in hardware engineering. Um, but due to a lot of scarcity during that time, I graduated in 2010. So I shifted my career towards being a software professional,
Mhm.
and more specifically in the area of business intelligence. I began working as a business BI consultant for many companies, including Accenture and Hewlett Packard. Before I accepted my present role as a technical lead in the field of BI and at a healthcare company called Elecare Health Plan, and which is based out of Los Angeles.
Mhm.
And prior to joining Anderson, I had around 10 years of work experience uh, before I applied for my Anderson.
Thank you. So you wanted a management education to pursue a career in product management. Has Anderson's FEMBA program met your expectations so far? You are the second year student right now.
Yes, yes, I'm in the second year student, so that's a good question. So the program so far has really helped me to, help me shape my core skills necessary to become a management professional. So becoming a product manager has been a career goal for me. But in order to pursue my career goal, I actually wanted to gain the skills necessary to become a management professional in the field. Before I, you know, before I even get into the actual, like a role of a product manager. So, so for those who are, want to pursue a career in product management, so I have known people who have done product management certifications and also uh, who have got the product manager role, because you don't need really need to go through the entire MBA, get a degree to do a product become a product manager. But I chose the latter path to go through my MBA and become a, and do a product management. The main difference and the reason was the skills and the learning experience that you get from an MBA degree it's vast, and it's definitely very beneficial for being a successful product manager. So in order to become a successful product manager and become an expert in the field that you want to be, uh, definitely MBA is the right place to go through, because you not only learn the soft skills necessary to become
Mhm.
uh, a management professional, but you gain a variety of like insights from people with the diverse backgrounds, and that really help to shape your core values. So during my first year of the program, I'm fortunate to have to have learned a lot about in the areas of operations, business strategy, finance, and accounting. And not to forget the leadership foundations, which was like the best course that I've had. Best course that I had. So I've got the core skills that are really needed for to become a management professional, and so the second year onwards, I have the option to choose my specialization. Uh, uh, at Anderson, we don't really have a specific specialization for product manager, for product management. So we have a specialization called technology leadership. So it's basically like you pick and choose what courses that you want tailored to a specific role that you're willing to pursue. Unlike finance or marketing, they have dedicated courses that, to become a finance or a marketing specialization, you have a certain courses. But product management role is something that you have to get to know a lot more than just marketing or just an operations perspective. So in my point of view, in order to gain that vast experience or the vast insights across from different areas of different field of areas, I really wanted to pursue that MBA to fill that gaps. And also right now I'm tailoring the courses that are more specific to being a successful product manager. So I've taken some courses related to technology leadership that will help me get into that role in the future.
Great. So good to know that it has been a great learning experience so far. And now you are going to select your electives that will fit your goals ultimately. So what has been your most favorite aspect of the program so far?
Firstly, the coursework at Anderson is heavily focused on solving the real world problems. So the way that is really introduced in the course is through the case studies and the quantitative analysis. So it really has challenged my cognitive skills in a way than ever before. You actually get to think critically and understand what the problem is. So in our regular day of work, when I have like 10 years of experience, the way of my understanding, or the way I have been working at in my professional areas, and the way that we are still working on some challenges, but when you get to Anderson, you actually work on areas that you are completely not familiar with, and it actually enables you to think even more critically. That there is a lot being there is a lot more things that you are actually solving for. For example, so during our operations class last year, we were actually thinking through what the challenges were during the supply chain management, for example, right? So some of these challenges that you actually read it in the news, and you just read it and you just forget it. But these are actually applied into your MBA, and you actually connect your dots, and you say, okay, this is how it could have been done better. So MBA gives you that capability to think broadly, and you actually feel very confident saying that, okay, you understand what a real world problem is. You can at least get a sense of it, and the coursework is aligned in a way through these case studies that really help you challenge the way you think, and really make you a better professional once you are by yourself in the actual working field. So the coursework, for sure, I really love the way the coursework was designed specifically for Anderson students. I mean, I think it applies generally for most of the MBA students, MBA schools. But Anderson, we are very grateful and fortunate to have leading faculty that in the nation that who teach us, and some of the professors have real world experience. They work full time at leading companies, and they also are a faculty member who come and teach us at Anderson. So they have real world experience solving problems. So it's very amazing to interact with professors, and and also the best aspect is the people. I would say at Anderson we have we have a great cohort. That the people are very easy to talk to. The admissions team are wonderful. They actually make you feel at home. It's very easy to get lost during MBA, so you don't know which direction to go through, because there are like different avenues. And we have all these clubs that that are tailored for people to really to help choose which areas they're kind of interested or they want to pursue it. I think it's part of that community feeling that you get at Anderson that really can. I feel that's the best aspect for me. The support network that you get through the classmates, through the learning groups, and the faculty, because everybody know that you are a FEMBA student, that you work 9 to 5 during the day, and you also have to manage 10 different things, and they are very accommodative.
Good. So looks like you love everything about the FEMBA experience, but the
Yes.
network, the supportive community is something
Yes.
you like the best. Right.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best part. Yes.
Good. So, is there anything you wish you had known before you started the program?
Uh, yes, definitely. I would think because in my situation, I work full time and I also have a family. Then I have to manage 10 different things other than the schoolwork. I wish I had known the demands of the coursework a little more better so that I'm kind of more prepared. Like how many hours I really need to put into the specific coursework, because unlike our typical I'm so used to our the I would say it's been more than 10 or like 12 years since I was in an academic setting, Poonam. So because I graduated back in 2010, and I had such a long gap in academics. I really
Right.
it was different. It was a different. It was a total change for me, actually, honestly. So I wish I had known a little better, because the amount of reading, writing that goes on into this program, you would have. It's very hard to imagine, because you
Right.
have to. There's a ton of work that you have to read. You have to be prepared prior to the class. It's just not that you go to the class, you attend the 3 hours lecture and you're done with it. It's more about how you prepare for the class. It actually makes you successful. So you get all the pre-reading materials prior to class, and each class, it's most of the classes, I would say, have a like the more you participate in the class, the more you get out of the program,
Right.
or the more you get out of the class, actually. So that also lets the professor know that you're actually bringing your own experience. So the reason of people who really they focus on having a work experience prior to joining an MBA degree is actually the
Right.
experience that you bring into the program. I mean, that's why it's the experiential learning that you actually have at Anderson.
True.
So that's the main focus of the professors, and the way they inculcate it into the program as well. um so yeah, so I wish I had known like some of these aspects, that like the amount of hours that you really need to spend prior
Right.
to each coursework. So it's for me for me it would I would say at least like I have to spend at least like 15 hours plus a week at least,
Along
which
with the job.
yeah, along with my other job, other because that covers your assignments. Not to scare anyone, but this is like just to uh, I wish I had known like because you also have to do
Right.
your manage your assignments and your readings, the pre-readings and everything prior to getting into the class, because that's how you are more benefited from what's actually going on in the class.
Of course. So, pursuing this program along with full-time job and family responsibilities must be really, really challenging. So, what challenges you are facing and how are you tackling them? Can you share some advice regarding the work-school life balance?
Yeah, sure. So some of the challenges I faced during my test preparation I can think of is uh, so doing for me
No, I'm
pursuing it.
I asked about work-school life balance.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I thought you were asking about the challenge about the test prep. Okay,
Yeah, we
for the
will come
work
to that.
school. Okay, so the uh, work school life challenges are, I would I would say it's time management is a very crucial part where I always feel challenged, because and prioritizing the work and the school has been it's been very challenging because of the constant demands. Um, Especially at work, I have been I'm actually in the lead role right now. Right now I've been as a lead working as a lead for a few years now. I also have to work with my teams in at offshore in India, and also and also here.
Mhm.
So it's been challenging to find that balance of work and school. So the only way I'm trying to overcome it is to come up with a better planning strategy. So I kind of plan my work ahead during the week, what I have to deliver during the week, because you have deliverables every day, almost like
Right.
twice a day, or like not twice, twice or thrice a week actually.
Mhm.
So the deliverables are, like, you have, if you have like if you're taking two courses in a quarter, you also have some deliverables for your on-campus recruitment. I'll spend more time talking about that towards the later, but there are some deliverables for that as well. Um, and that, yeah, the demand at work also is very challenging, so I have to spend extra hours. Yeah, sometimes I just try to see if I can get some work done during my free time during work, but it's actually not happening. So uh, I'm actually grateful in a way that I'm working remote right now, but I wouldn't have imagined how it would have been if I had to go to in person, because I actually live in the suburbs. It's like an hour and a half journey for me to get to work. So I would have not imagined how it would have been if I had to go in person.
Then 3 hours
But yeah, so
commute.
yeah, it's a 3 hour commute because LA traffic, it's very bad. So people try to avoid the traffic here in LA. So we so in a way, remote is kind of helping me, but at the same time, there are these challenges that I'm trying to overcome.
And any advice for fully employed
Yeah,
professionals, their
yes,
family
definitely.
responsibilities, and a young kid? You have
Yeah, for sure. Yes, for sure. I think you probably would hear this a lot from a lot of people, prioritizing the work and prioritizing the time for the week. So yeah, I would say spend at least like 10 to 15 minutes during your breakfast time or during the lunch time, just to kind of have your priorities sorted out for this week. That would really help. At least make a note of all the deliverables that you have to deliver for the week. So some of these assignments, because the problem is some of these assignments are actually not aligned. It's actually more specific to the professor. Some of them, they say they have the deadlines during the 7 p.m. or 5 p.m. deadline, and that actually happens to fall during the middle of the week and not really end of the week. So it's easy to forget when the deadlines are. So that's why I would say, make a note of all the assignment deadlines, and like, prioritize your work, prioritize. And I think, and also the time management is very critical. So even if you are spending a lot of time on something which you feel is not working out, I would suggest to stop that and do something else and come back to it at later time, which actually helped me, because I spent hours and hours and solving some stuff which I could not get into anything. It's I kind of, at the end, I felt it's more useful to pursue something else and come back and work on it. So prioritizing and time management it's a very key aspect for an MBA student,
and you have
especially with you. Yeah, and especially with you have a family.
yeah.
Yeah. So and having that, I think the another most important aspect, especially if you're having a family with kids, is to have that support network. Like, you have to have that support from either from your friends or family, if you have a family. That support really needs to be there, because you cannot do this alone, I would say. So
Exactly.
it's doing an MBA. It's something that you cannot just do it alone. You definitely need to have a support network that can really help you, like, get through the program. And they actually say it, right, at Anderson. It actually takes a village to be a successful MBA student or a FEMBA
You
student.
do.
so so
Excellent. I like that.
yeah, so
You
it
need
is
a
true. So
strong support system. True.
yeah, support system is you definitely, you already get that support system at Anderson. So the coursework, they put you into learning groups during the core program, and you already have a support with your group. You actually tend to learn and learn and do your uh, assignments and group assignments, group projects with your team. So that support network, Anderson already provides you with all the support that's needed from the staff or from the students. So, but outside that, you still need the support from your friends and family that you can. So it's very easy to get stressed. I can talk about my own experiences that I was there were like very many instances where I really got where I had stressed out. But thanks to my wife, she's been very supportive of me. That like I was able to overcome that, and so far, touch wood, so far it's been successful first year for me.
Great. Now, going back, what challenges did you face during test prep and application prep, and how did you overcome them? You also applied in round 3, the most competitive round. Can you share your views regarding the round people should apply to? So, too many questions.
Sure. Sorry, I jumped into this question earlier. So the main challenges that I faced during my test prep, I would say it was procrastination. I was trying to procrastinate my test date to always a later date. Because of my work conflicts, so when I considered to do or get into this MBA program, it was like back in 2018 or 2019, I would say. That's the time actually I was just promoted at work, and I had an extra responsibilities at work that I had to. Then there were like a lot of expectations from me at work, and I was not able to get like have keep that time, balance the time between the exam date and work. So I think the one thing that I was always under the false impression that your GMAT or your GRE score is the only thing which the admissions people look for, which is actually not true. So there is a lot more. Yeah, it's still a myth. Like I was during that time I was under that impression that I only will be able to get into Anderson if I had a really good GMAT score or a GRE score. So I gave my GRE GMAT, but I was not satisfied, but I had to push my okay, so then I had to push. Okay, maybe I won't be able to join the program that specific year, but I kind of reapplied it. I'll probably redo it later. So that kind of a procrastination I had because of I had to push that exam date a couple of times. And the challenges that I had was finding the right academic or finding the right resource for my test prep. At that time, I kind of tried multiple courses online, but I was not completely satisfied because it was not really flexible to my work schedule to prepare and take that exams. So then I just took a break for some time before I applied for Anderson, because I always, whenever I heard from the previous students, they always asked me to, the suggestion that they used to give me was, whenever you apply for Anderson, just give your best application. It doesn't really matter which round that you're applying to, and which actually is true, and it was true in my case as well. I applied in the third round, as you know. I didn't go for the first round or second round because I really wanted to put in my best application, and I wanted to go to put in that extra effort and show that in my application as well. And yeah, and that's what the admissions also they look for. There is no specific preference for you if you apply for the first round or second round. So even for during my application process in my third round as well, I was waitlisted at Anderson for some time. I also had applied to USC, Marshall School of Business. I actually got accepted into Marshall at that time, but I always wanted to get into Anderson because I know how the curriculum is at Anderson, so I really wanted to pursue my MBA at Anderson. But at the same time, I was still under the wait list. I was put under the wait list at that time. But the constant, I always used to be in touch with the admissions team because they were like super friendly, and they used to give me some directions on it's actually not the round. So that's when they told me so Anderson does not pick students or select students based on, they don't have a cap of how many students that they can intake in the program. So they don't their admissions, they don't work it that way. So they actually, if you really are worth it, they would take you in at any time you apply for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how about application prep?
Application prep, The application prep for me, the only thing that was challenging was to get my essays in order. I knew what I had to put in my essays, because essays are the main thing which the admissions they look for. Like that's the one of the main, or the major factors of your application being selected, because because your essays are read by the admissions committee. It's just not by one person. They actually, it's read by the admissions team, and also it's read by the current, and some of the admissions committee who also have current up to the previous students, and some of the professors as well. So so putting a lot of effort into the essays is a very key part, and I'm grateful for choosing your services, Poonam, and uh, uh, because you helped me guide my stories in a way that is more compelling. That's I had what stories, I had what content that I needed, and you helped me guide it in a way that was very compelling for my admissions. And I'm always thankful for you and for your services that I got into Anderson.
Yeah. Thank you. I enjoyed working with you, and I'm
Thank
glad
you.
it
Thank
all
you.
worked out. So the best part of part-time MBA programs is you can apply your learnings the next day at work. That's what people have told me. So how far you have been able to apply your classroom learnings at work so far?
Um, so the role that I am in currently, it's more like a software professional. As I'm a tech lead. Unlike a marketing or a finance professional, that they actually find it more easy to uh, kind of apply some of the learnings that they have during the course, because we only had a core subject so far. We really didn't have any uh, electives yet. Uh, so some of the learnings that from the first year that I could take away was from the operations class. The operations was a major learning for me on
Mhm.
how you do your how you manage your work and how your project management has to be done. So I think some of my major learnings have been from operations class. Uh, you, I mean, it's especially I'm working in healthcare industry, and the examples that were given, or from the during our class, were more suitable. Some of them were like very close to healthcare and the work that I have been doing, and solving some of the problems in healthcare, in like how do you manage what actually happens in a healthcare hospital, for example. How do you manage the waiting times, for example, right? So some of those problems that we kind of work on it during at like work on during the at our company. We try to see what we can do to benefit our members' experience at healthcare. So some of those learnings have been really beneficial in terms of project management for me. And so since I'm doing my electives starting from this year onwards, I actually would have more learnings in from the academics
Yeah.
that I can really apply to. But from the core, and yeah, not to mention about the leaderships, right? So there was a lot of learning that I actually gained insights from my leadership courses. So I think that is one of the best classes that I have taken so far. There was the leadership foundation that I think that every Anderson student will go through during their first year. Yeah, that's a wonderful learning experience.
Great. So, as a part-time student, how often do you get opportunities to participate in extracurricular activities like clubs, organizations? Have you joined any clubs? Which clubs you have joined?
Yeah, yes, I think I, the good thing about Anderson is the clubs are open to all the students. Either you're a FEMBA student or a full-time student, or an MBA, like an executive MBA student. These clubs are open to all the students, and you actually have tons of opportunities.
Mhm.
Right from the very first year itself, uh, you can participate in any number of clubs, and you can actually join any number of clubs. But my suggestion would be to be wise in choosing which club you want to join, because of the amount of effort that you have to also put into academics, and it's very hard to manage both being in a club and also doing your academics. So during my first year, first few quarters in my first year, I kind of waited before I actually was an active member. I was still a member of some of the clubs, but I was not an active member. I was just kind of waiting to see how I can really prioritize and balance my work. So I was more heavily involved in the club that I just joined last quarter, which is the Healthcare Business Association.
Mhm.
I and I actually joined as not only and I not only joined as an active as a member of the club, but I also applied for a leadership position in the club. I am the director of conference for the healthcare vitals conference. Yes, I think it's because I wanted some like I wanted to get into a role that can really like help me to leverage some of my learning from the healthcare industry, and I really wanted to uh, give it back, or I mean, in a way, to contribute to the program as well from what I've learned from my healthcare experience so far. So I joined I took up the leadership position. It's a challenging position where uh, you have to organize this healthcare conference. I can provide you more details for that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
last week
yeah.
I contacted you. You said you are not available right now because you were occupied with organizing that health conference. So I'm curious to know more details about the health conference that you organized.
Yeah, sure. It's a wonderful experience actually. So we at Anderson we have an annual flagship conference. It's called Vitals Conference, and this was our ninth annual conference. This is actually the largest. It's a largest student-led conference in Southern
Oh,
California. It's a premium conference, and this year this year was very special because we had our dean Dean Bernardo. He's more inclined to uh, like explore in the area of healthcare. He's actually made it one of Anderson's strategic initiatives to kind of have more health more lean have more like the events, and some of the events more catered towards the healthcare. And we are fortunate to have the Vitals conference this year, and the theme of the conference was precision medicine. Actually, to get into more details, and my primary responsible in my role was to host a panel. So I had to host a panel and get all the
yeah.
talk to the industry professionals and get the industry leaders, and get them to share their insights at our panel. So that was my primary role. It was a challenging role actually. Uh, so I had to get into because we have like different panels that are organized for this conference,
Mhm.
and one of the panels I took the ownership of, working on getting this speakers. Uh, so the experience was great. It was a great experience because you actually get to talk to people from not only from Anderson. You talk to
Yes,
I
sir.
had to talk to students from like the medicine school, and also from the public health school. So at UCLA. So I was in touch with their alumni directors to see who could be the best fit in
Mhm.
this specific topic. And as a matter of fact, it was such a coincidence that my our company's chief medical officer, who happens to be a UCLA alum as well, medical school alum as well. So he was interested in being a speaker at our conference, at my
Okay.
panel. So it so happened that I was not only representing Anderson during that conference, but I was also representing my company at my organization during that panel. So so it's a very I think it was a great experience for me, and so I was glad that I was able to contribute in my own way to Anderson, to get some speakers and also represent my organization at Anderson.
So that was a unique opportunity representing Anderson, representing your own
Yes.
company in your
Yeah.
field.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there are like tons of opportunities for for prospective students. I would say there are like tons of opportunities. You should definitely pursue something that is really challenging for you. But because you have to get the most out of this program. So you have like tons of resources actually at your disposal, but the way you utilize, or like the way you utilize this program to your best effort is what you can really make most out of it. So
Right.
even though it is very challenging, even though it is very challenging, challenging, we just have to time it out specific,
Right.
time it better so that you can get the best out of this program.
True. So you consider this health conference as your most valuable contribution to the program, or?
Yes, outside of academics, I would say this is my most valuable contribution towards this program. I could get in whatever insights I had from my experience of I have more than 8 years of experience in healthcare right now.
Right.
So I could get in that experience to Anderson, and I could so that actually helped me to also be in a position, take up this leadership role at this healthcare business association club. In the academics, there have been a lot of contributions. So in terms of the coursework and also through my group projects,
Mm-hmm.
I would say every class that you attend at Anderson, you have a very unique contribution towards the class.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of class participation, right? So that's why it's high class participation is very highly encouraged by the
Right.
professors. And also it is actually also some of the courses it's also graded towards, it's weighted towards your grade also. So
Right.
it's the reason they chose to have that weightage is because you'll actually learn from your fellow students in the class. So for example, in our class, in my class, I had people from like entertainment industry or finance industry, from accounting, like from operations, and some from healthcare. So
Right.
uh, the more like contribute in the class or to the in a specific course, the more you actually get to learn about what are other people's perspectives as well.
Right.
So that way, there have been some contributions. I had very wonderful interactions and interactions with my fellow students and during the classwork, and also during my the group projects. So not to mention my group projects here as well.
Mm-hmm. So every student brings their own unique perspectives to the
Yes,
class discussions and group projects.
yes, definitely.
So what other advice you have for the incoming students so they can thrive at the program?
So for those who are thinking to apply to Anderson, like I highly encourage to put the best application forward. It doesn't really matter which round that you are applying to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so because the admissions committee, they look at the application as a whole. Like, so I would say don't be discouraged even if your scores are like too low. Just talk to the admissions consultant. They give you enough time to apply for the put in your application, and they also give some time to retake the exam after you applied. So the admissions are very flexible in that way. So if there are like other aspects in the application that really stand out, uh, I would say focus on those aspects of your application and just put the best application as possible, and for those who are already accepted at Anderson, I would say congratulations. My word of advice is to make sure to have your priorities and plan them accordingly, because Anderson is a beautiful experience. You would have a lot of memories that you would really cherish, like for your entire life. And and the main important thing I would say, from talking from a perspective of a family man, I would say have
Yeah.
that support network. Having that support network is very essential. You really need to have your family to support you through getting through the program, because don't think that you are left alone. bec- um, you know just call out for help whenever you need, like either it's through the professor at Anderson, or from the students. uh just call out for help. And even if you are not if you because there are some areas I can talk about from my experience, because I don't have a finance or accounting background, but there were those subjects I really struggled in for,
Mhm.
for me. So I took the help from Anderson. I took I took the help from like the senior students who have who have graduated,
Right.
and they actually came out to help me, and it's definitely something that I would have, otherwise I would have just left. I would have been left alone. I thought maybe I have to do all this by myself and spend in those extra hours. But definitely seeking help whenever needed is, I think, probably the best advice I can give you, because you get, otherwise it's takes a stress on yourself as well. And just it's always better to overcome that.
Right.
And and plan it in a way. Plan it and prioritize is a very important aspect to plan it. And even though you plan it, you have to prioritize in a way that you are able to deliver within the week. So at Anderson, you always have weekly deliverables. So just make a note of those, and I would say that, I'm sure, like, once you get the hang of it in the first year, it's you actually get used to it. You actually we become better at everything. So for me, it was very challenging in the first year. So even though I heard from like from previous members that they keep saying planning and prioritizing is very important. Until I came to that point, I really didn't know the importance of it. So so I think it's best to like plan and prioritize the work accordingly, and definitely it's very helpful.
Yeah, all the fully employed professionals, the MBA students that I have talked to, have emphasized planning and prioritizing and time management. These are the key factors, and taking help when needed.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Preetham, it has been a very enriching conversation. You have provided valuable insights about the Anderson
Thank you.
program. Is there anything I haven't asked and you want to talk about?
Yeah, there was one thing that I wanted to mention. I think I forgot to mention, for the students, right? So we at Anderson, we talk about these three pillars. They think fearlessly, drive change, and share your success. These are actually they were actually meant to meant to better understand make it better understandable to the students, but they actually really mean a thing. Like, you have to think fearlessly when you're at Anderson. You don't ever be in a place that you feel that you're not better for something. I think I had that initial feeling at Anderson when I joined. Maybe I'm not good enough for this, a so-called imposter syndrome, I would say. But you are actually better than what you are. So always always think about yourself that you're already in a better position than you think you really are. So don't have that fear in you. Just be ready and be comfortable to accept challenges, and because Anderson pushes you to come out of your comfort zone, because we usually, it's human to think about that we have to do things in our own comfort zone, but at Anderson, you are really being challenged to do something extraordinary, and be coming out of your comfort zone. So I would say just think fearlessly, and don't be timid, because I was timid, I was shy initially. I was and it was a challenge for me too. So I would say that has been a good learning for me. So like, just be fearless. And I've honestly, I would say that I have improved a lot. It really boosted my self-confidence levels from what I was at the very beginning of the program to what I am now. I feel a lot more confident, and to talk to people, like, just don't be just don't have that fear in you. Just be fearless.
It's great that a boot student I talked to a few weeks back told me exactly the same thing. Share your ideas.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That's wonderful.
Engage with professors. Don't be shy in asking questions and asking for help. So it has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Poonam.
You have taken out of your super busy schedule, and I wish you good luck with the rest of your time at Anderson, and continued success beyond that. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Poonam. It was pleasure talking to you, and I would really wish all the viewers good luck in whatever they're pursuing. Thank you.
I'm sure your conversation, your valuable insights will be helpful resource for prospective students and incoming students to FEMBA program. Thank you. Bye.
Sure. Thank you.